Okay, so the next big concept to wrap your head around outside of this data binding thing is firing methods on a Livewire component. So let's say we had a method called, let's say reset name, okay? And then once we call that, we set name to, let's say, Chico, okay? And now how do we fire this method? Well, we can't do it with this data binding thing. Let's create a button and show you how. So we'll make a button, and this will say reset name, okay? Now to listen for the click, if we were in Vue.js, we would do like @click equals reset name, right? Well, in Livewire, it's wire:click. So now when Livewire hears a click event on this button, it's going to make a request to run this method. So let's check it out in the browser. We have Jelly, type some stuff in, whatever, hit reset name, and there we go. We've reset it. And it's that same cycle as before. When we hit that, we type something in, we hit reset name, there's an AJAX request that gets sent, and along with the payload, here's the current name, and then there's this action, type call method payload reset name. So it's telling the server to call the reset name method. Great, okay. So you can also pass in parameters to methods. So let's say that name comes in as a parameter. So we'll set the default to Chico, and then let's say we make this name, okay? And now wire::click reset name, we can pass in a parameter just like you would in Vue.js. We'll say, oh, bingo. All right, refresh. Now we have Jelly, we hit reset name, and we get bingo. Very nice. So there's lots of other crazy things you can do here. Inside of this little action here, we have access to the event that actually triggered wire::click. So if you're used to JavaScript native events, things like event.target, sort of things like that, let's do something like this. Let's do event. Now this is a magic variable that Livewire makes available to you. Event.target, and let's say .innerText. And the inner text is reset name. So when we click reset name, it should reset the name to reset name. Are you following? I hope you are. Okay, Jelly, reset name, and there you go, reset name. So you have a lot of flexibility there. Let's go back to bingo. All right, cool. So there's parameters. You can pass in as many of them as you want. Let's talk about listening for other events. So this is actually a wildcard. You can put in any event name you want here. You could do something like mouse enter. And now, when we refresh, we mouse enter over the button, and it automatically fires that method right there. You could do mouse enter, you could do key down, you could do anything you want. You could even do a custom event that gets fired from a third-party package or something like that. So one more really common use case for actions is firing something on a form submit. So let's actually wrap this tag here in a form tag, and we'll make the action, we'll just make it nothing for now. And then we'll say wire submit, we'll listen for the submit event, equals, and then we'll do this reset name inside of that submit event. Okay, and now we can get rid of it on the button. Okay, we click reset name, and what happened? It didn't do what we thought it would. It actually submitted the form. Just like in Vue.js, when you're listening for a form submission, generally you have to prevent default on that event so it doesn't actually submit the form. So let's try this again. We have Jelly, we hit reset name, and now it's set to bingo. There we go. Okay, a couple more little things for you. Right now we're calling a method. There's also a little bit of a shortcut because sometimes you end up with all these like one-line methods that just set a piece of data. So what if we wanted to set that data directly? If you care, if this is your taste, you don't have to do this, but you can do $set, pass in the data. We want to set name to bingo. Now we refresh, we have Jelly, we click this, and it resets it to bingo. So it's kind of a shortcut little helper thing. So that is the basics of listening for events and firing methods. It's pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward, but it's really, really flexible. So there we go.